Hi, my name is Tammy Schmidt. I'm an experiential herbalist and nature therapy guide. Welcome to my channel. Today I would like to discuss nature connection. And by doing so, I'd like to define nature connection. If you'd like to learn more about nature connection, I've actually just written a book about it. And I posted the link in the comments below. So check it out. It's called Stellar. And it's all about nature connection and how this helps us cultivate greater self-love. So that's great. So I really wanted to be clear about what nature connection is. So I created actually a three-part series of videos so that we can discuss, many parts of it. And the first thing that you need to know for nature connection is that, and it's the most important thing, is to slow down. And we slow down so that we can sense what's going on around us, how we feel about where we are in our space, but then also how we're feeling inside. So we slow down to sense. And that's the first rule. The first rule. The first thing to keep in mind. I don't know if I want to say rule, but the first thing to keep in mind. And in slowing down, you don't need to move at all. You don't need to move at all to Nature Connect, but you do need to slow down. So that's an important thing to remember. You don't have to be in motion, but you can slow down. That's the main, the first point. The second is that it doesn't actually require any knowledge of plants or animals or anything like that. But obviously, the less you know about the space that you're in, the more respectful you may be in that space. It's like visiting someone you don't know. When you enter their home, you're polite, you're respectful, but you're also curious. You want to get to know the person more. You want to get to know, oh, who is this? Where do they live? It's the same thing with plants and animals and the natural space that you're visiting. So you might not know very much about the plants around you, but you want to get to know them more probably. But you don't need to know everything about them in order to develop a relationship, right? So it's kind of the same way. Getting to know plants is like getting to know people. And the reason I mention respect is that sometimes when we're a little less cautious, especially with baby plants, sometimes people make mistakes. People make mistakes even if they have a lot of history with the plants. So it's really important to be cautious and just be respectful of the plants around you. You don't want to be eating them. I was just thinking about it, like if you're walking your dog through a park. This is like the famous thing. I don't have a dog, but the dog like picks up something and starts eating it. You're like, what is it? What is it? Right? I've seen that before. So it's kind of the same thing. You don't want to, just go in there and start eating the plants or anything unless you really know what you're doing, right? So it's the same thing. Nature connection is not a form of spirituality. It doesn't insist on beliefs or any sort of, systems of belief or anything like that. You just come as you are and you connect. And that's really all it is. But it meshes well with beliefs if you do have spiritual or religious beliefs. So it's open and accepting of everyone. There need not be a set goal when you're outside in nature to Nature Connect. Sometimes, and even the things that I say, like the system that I've mapped out in order for people to connect with nature and connect with themselves, all of that can kind of be pushed away some days because sometimes we just don't have the bandwidth. We don't have the energy to do all the things. Sometimes we just have the energy to be, and that's okay too. Nature connection is not a form of meditation. Though you can meditate in nature, it is not a form of meditation. Nature connection involves sensing what you are sensing in nature. So you actually run through all of your senses. You can think about, what am I seeing? What am I hearing? What am I smelling? What am I tasting? Like maybe the air has a taste to it. What are you feeling? How are the tips of your fingers feeling versus, your arms covered by your jacket? How are you feeling? And then also, how are you feeling inside? So, what are you feeling right now? So, all of these questions about what you're sensing brings you back into the present moment, and it tunes you into how you're feeling. And that's really important. And that's kind of one of the pieces that I find really important with nature connection. Though you are, putting yourself in a space, it's beyond you. It's a space that helps you focus on yourself in the present moment. So, in summary for today, nature connection involves slowing down. You don't need to be in motion, but you do need to slow down. It doesn't require a knowledge of plants, but it's wise to be respectful of the plants and animals that are around you. And on that, also, if you want to get to know more about plants, talk to people, talk to herbalists, talk to gardeners, people who have a long history of interacting with plants. They are going to be your best teachers. We do have apps, apps on our phones and everything to help us identify plants, but sometimes they're still wrong, right? So you don't want to rely on apps alone. And when you're studying books, they often say check 3 resources first and then also have knowledge of the plant. And once you actually know that it's safe to eat, taste it. You'll never forget the taste of a plant. So all of those things are really important. You're developing a relationship with the plants. So, but to get out there and to spend time in nature, you don't need to know a lot. You just need to be, aware. And that's all it really starts with. And curious. Nature connection is not a form of spirituality, though it meshes well with spirituality. There doesn't need to be a goal. Some days we just don't have the bandwidth to have like another goal when we're out there. It's not a form of meditation, but it is a space where I find it's easier to meditate. And nature connection is sensing what you're sensing so that you can tune into yourself and into the present moment. So thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you take it outside. Thanks.